Imagine waking up one day to discover that events prophesied centuries ago are unfolding before your eyes. Now, ask yourself, are we witnessing the fulfillment of one of the most terrifying prophecies about the Catholic Church? Pope Francis is gravely ill. His health is deteriorating rapidly, and many believe his death could trigger events that will change history. But what few people know is that centuries ago, an Irish bishop predicted the arrival of the last pope before the apocalypse. And according to that prophecy, that pope could be Francis. Today, we will analyze whether the prophecy of Saint Malachy is coming true before our eyes, what it means for the future of humanity, and most importantly, what will happen after Francis. But before we begin, if you want to know the truth about these uncertain times, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because what's coming will leave you speechless. For centuries, the prophecy of the 112 popes has intrigued the world. According to the writings attributed to Saint Malachy, every pope in the history of the Church has been described with a prophetic motto, and each one, until now, has matched with astonishing accuracy. But the most terrifying part is that the list ends with Francis. Francis would be the Peter the Roman, the leader who would guide the Church through times of extreme tribulation before the end of days. And now, as his health declines and the Vatican faces internal crises, many are asking, is this the beginning of the end? But there is something even more unsettling. Some believe that after Francis, the next pope will not be legitimately elected. There are those who claim that he will be an impostor placed in power to fulfill a hidden agenda. Could this be the false prophet foretold in the book of Revelation? Every pope on the list has eerily fulfilled their motto. John Paul II, known as the Labor of the Sun, was born and died during solar eclipses. Benedict XVI, whose motto was Glory of the Olive, was linked to the Benedictine order, whose symbol is the olive. And now, Francis, who took the name of Saint Francis of Assisi, whose original name was Giovanni di Pietro Peter, could be closing the prophetic cycle. But there's more. The Bible speaks of a great apostasy in the last days. Some theologians and experts have noticed that Pope Francis has made decisions that go against Catholic tradition. From opening the doors to progressive doctrines to radical changes in the liturgy, all of this has sparked controversy. Could he be fulfilling his role as the last pope before ultimate chaos? The resignation of Benedict XVI was unprecedented in modern church history. Was it a voluntary decision or a move orchestrated from the shadows? Are we witnessing an internal war within the Vatican that will determine the fate of the Catholic faith? Researchers have pointed out that Benedict XVI's resignation was not an ordinary event but part of a plan to place Francis on the papal throne. Was this predestined or a conspiracy within the Church? The Vatican has been the scene of financial scandals, power struggles, and internal divisions. The question is, who is really pulling the strings behind the scenes? Is it possible that hidden forces are paving the way for the final outcome of this prophecy? Some of the world's most powerful figures have shown their support for Pope Francis. But why are political and economic leaders aligning with him? Is this part of a global plan to transform religion and merge it with a new ideology? Rumors within the Vatican suggest that the Swiss Guard is already preparing for his eventual funeral. The question is, who will take his place? According to the prophecy of Saint Malachy, the next pope may not be a legitimate leader but the false prophet who will prepare the way for the Antichrist. Geopolitical conflicts, the crisis of values, and the moral decline of society could be clear signs that we are in an era of unprecedented spiritual transition. Coincidence or prophetic fulfillment? Jesus warned that in the last days, false prophets would arise to deceive many. The question is humanity falling into a grand illusion? Globalist movements seek to unify religion with politics. Is Pope Francis leading a change that many do not see but that could alter the course of history forever? It's not just Pope Francis's health that is at stake. Over the past year, the Vatican has faced a series of financial scandals that have shaken the foundations of the Catholic Church. But what if these scandals were nothing more than distractions from something much bigger? Some claim that powerful forces are pulling the strings from the shadows, seeking to reconfigure the Church and perhaps lay the groundwork for the arrival of a new leadership that will alter the faith as we know it. Have you noticed how Pope Francis has been traveling around the world, reaching out to non-Christian religions and promoting a global unification agenda? Could this be part of a plan to merge all religions under one banner, a prelude to what many call the one world religion? Globalist movements are not only seeking to unify politics but also religions, creating a single system that could serve as the foundation for global control. In fact, Pope Francis has spoken about a world government that would regulate the economy, the environment, and morality. Is he laying the groundwork for the Antichrist to emerge at a time when all religions are unified and ready to follow him? Recently, there have been rumors about the growing influence of so-called globalists within the Vatican's power structure. The World Economic Forum, for example, has shown inexplicable support for Pope Francis. Could this support be part of a larger plan to control faith on a global scale? Recently, some Christian leaders have warned that we are living in times when false prophets will appear everywhere, leading the masses toward doctrines that are not from God. Many have pointed to Pope Francis's decisions and statements as signs that he might be following an agenda that contradicts the fundamental principles of Christianity. Could this be the famous prophecy that speaks of a false prophet before the end? Pope Francis has been criticized for promoting a more lenient approach to issues such as abortion, homosexuality, and marriage, which has shaken the traditional foundations of Catholic doctrine. Many have asked, is he paving the way for a more radical change in the Church? Could this openness be part of a plan to dilute traditional beliefs and eventually make way for a figure who will deliver the final blow to the Catholic Church as we know it? In recent years, we have witnessed an increase in religious persecution around the world, churches and temples being attacked, priests murdered, and growing oppression against Christians in countries like China and the Middle East. Some theologians believe this is a sign that we are in the end times. Could the fall of the Catholic Church and the arrival of a new pope be the spark that ignites the final spiritual battle prophesied in the Book of Revelation? The current geopolitical tensions between world powers such as the United States, Russia, and China, along with the growing global economic crisis, are seen by many as the fulfillment of apocalyptic prophecies. Amid all this, the Vatican could play a key role as the last bastion of spiritual power. If the prophecy of Saint Malachy is fulfilled, Pope Francis would be the last in a line of leaders marking the beginning of the end. Opponents of Pope Francis within the Vatican itself have quietly spoken of a growing resistance within the Church. Some conservative cardinals and bishops have expressed their disapproval of Francis's reforms, fearing that his leadership is steering the Church down a path of no return. Some claim that if the prophecy of Saint Malachy is true after Francis, there will be a great internal crisis within the Church, which could lead to the final fragmentation of the Catholic faith. Interestingly, in recent years, some Vatican insiders have reported secret meetings between Vatican figures and leaders of non-Christian sects or religions, something that directly contradicts Catholic doctrine. Are they laying the groundwork for a radical change that could go against Christian teachings? This is not just another theory. There is a global spiritual, political, and economic crisis pushing the world toward an irreversible change. The prophecy of Saint Malachy could be a warning that we are in the final stage of history as we know it. Some people believe the prophecy is a myth, while others claim it is being fulfilled in an unsettling way. But the big question is, are you ready for what's coming? Are we about to witness the greatest religious transformation of all time? Comment below with your opinion and don't forget to share this video with your friends. In times of uncertainty, information is power. Don't be left behind. Keep researching, keep questioning, and most importantly, be prepared. Don't miss out on what's happening. Watch these recommended videos and keep discovering the truth. God bless you, and see you in the next video.